Welcome to This Week in West Hempstead, sponsored this week by Spiegel Law PC, 516-873-1683. Let us solve your problems. And by Tiffany Dry Cleaners, pickup and delivery in West Hempstead and surrounding communities, 718-309-5222. And by I&D Glot Market, 327 Hempstead Avenue, for all of your shopping needs. Here are your hosts, David and Norm. Take it away, gentlemen.
All right, thank you, Dan. And as you know, it's a gray sweater day today. And, it's...
I hope you're wearing your gray sweaters.
It's always good that we coordinate. Oh, shoot. God help us. No. And the weather's going to be getting, we're talking about weather going into the 50s, so yeah.
Gorgeous. It's going to be beautiful this week.
Yeah, so, starting off this week, we got a follow-up from a story that we had to follow last week, which is regarding the bomb scare at the Young Israel. And there was a letter put out by Greg Goldenberg, who we did interview on Echo about his discussions that he had with the Nassau County Police Department as a result of the follow-up of the bomb hoax. And you know what? He's trying to be as transparent as possible, and we appreciate it.
So what's beautiful about this is the West Hempstead security groups in each of the synagogues are a well-oiled machine. They had an incident. They got debriefed by the bomb squad. The police department met with them. They went over things that went right and things that didn't go well. It's part of the training, and it's part of keeping up with what needs to be done. I'm really happy with the Nassau Police Department. I'm happy they're keeping us involved and keeping us well informed.
Yeah, I happened to be last night at an event over at the Young Israel in which Greg spoke very briefly about it, and he said, among other things, they said by and large the response to the threat was very high quality. Again, plenty of things that need to be adjusted and stuff that has to be dealt with in the future, but overall I think the police were fairly pleased at the synagogue's ability to sort of handle it, get people out the door, and keep people safe. So I think that went well.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, we've been trained, and we continue to be trained. It seems like just yesterday, although it was a few years ago, when someone from CSS ran into the synagogue and said, "Everyone down on the floor," and it was like, why? And unfortunately, this is just a world that we live in.
Right. So we run these periodic tests so that people don't panic. And they understand what needs to take place, and everyone evacuated properly without too much trauma, and that's the way it's supposed to go. They do it in schools as well. It's a pity that we have to do this, but that's the world we live in.
Yeah. And you know what? I think right now may be a good time for us to take a very short commercial break.
Tiffany Dry Cleaner is ready to handle all your cleaning, laundering, and dry cleaning needs. We offer free pickup and delivery Sunday to Friday in all communities. Give us a shot.
And we're back. So, Norm, you won't believe this. The West Hempstead Pharmacy, which is located, between Bageltown and Oma Sushi, looked like it was going to be moving who knows how long. Now, all of a sudden,
it's been a couple of years.
That sign's been up there, and the construction sign down the street on the other side has been up there. Guess what? Today was like moving day. I couldn't believe it. It was great. I went over there. I actually saw Howard Jacobson. He's the owner of the pharmacy. He was trying out the locks for the door. I mean, they were really just first, figuring out what to do. But the new store looked great. It was well lit. It had large shelves and just a lot more room than the old location. But what makes the West Hempstead Pharmacy stand apart are the people. So we still got those great people coming as well.
They do, and they do deliver. So it's a nice service. He's been threatening to move for the longest time. I know he had problems getting permits for, I think, a sink that he wanted to put in. Something ridiculous held him up. but now he's on the move, and they're carrying boxes across all day long. And probably by tomorrow will be up and running with a phone number.
I think I had heard on social media that there were problems with the phone number, which typically is more related to the phone company or the cable company doing the switching, and you get stuck in limbo for a few hours. If you're waiting for your prescription, that's a real issue. But I'm sure they're going to. It'll be ironed out by the time you're listening to this program or watching this program.
I'm sure.
And you know what? By the way, if you can't get your pharmacies and it's just the end, the casket company that was just right next to where this new place is opening is gone. So it's like, where do you go?
I don't know, but if you're on social media, you're probably having a great laugh because everyone seems to have a casket joke.
Yeah, I mean, we actually covered this story when it first opened. There was a casket company that was offering, I guess, these high-end plexiglass and all these like fancy
see-through
things.
caskets.
I don't know if necessarily this was the community, as someone pointed out. Half of the people here go out in a plain pine box, and that was it. And then they're gone. So, West Hempstead Pharmacy, keep dispensing those drugs, keep us going because we got nowhere else to go.
I probably didn't do well with their buy one get one free.
Oh, jeez. No.
Not for nothing, by the way, but I have seen that you can buy caskets at Costco.
Yeah, but you got to buy 6 at a time.
Buy
That doesn't
12 or
pay.
something.
Yeah, no, actually, you know what? Technically, you have to be a funeral director in order to buy the casket. So
is that true?
So there you go. Yeah, you can't just buy onesies. So some completely useless information.
Who knew?
So do come to West Hempstead Echo for all of your interesting casket stories.
Oh no, please don't. The Capri Motel. Who knows what's going on with that? But so right now during the month of February, the town of Hempstead is collecting, I guess, letters. Not exactly sure how they're collecting them, but they're getting letters of suggestions for the community on what to do with the Capri Motel, and they're supposed to render a decision. Okay, sounds interesting.
What are the options? What are people talking about?
There's all sorts of nonsense.
I'm sure a park. Everybody wants a park.
Parking lot.
Parking lot for what?
I don't know. They pave paradise.
Expand
and they put up a parking lot.
the Stop and Shop parking lot. I don't know. Look, I have the Newsday story up here. It only says public comment will be accepted through March 1st. I don't know where. I don't really go to the website. God only knows. The other thing that caught my eye about this is they've hired a retired state judge, one Anthony F. Morano, as a special referee in the eminent domain proceedings. I do have to ask, because I brought this up last week, he's getting hired at a rate of $700 an hour plus expenses. And I know, Norm, you've said that's not a lot of money for a lawyer, but my question is, I already asked last week how much all of this is costing us. I'm sort of like, how much is this going to end up with?
Right.
I think that's minimum wage for a lawyer.
Wow, okay, well. No wonder my mom cried the day I decided not to go to law school.
That's a crazy number. I don't know what this guy's doing for $700. He's saying, lock it up. I mean, how much does that take?
But more importantly, this $700 an hour lawyer comes at the taxpayer's expense.
Of course.
That's and expenses, and $700 I'm sure just is scratching the surface, and then you got all these other
and plus there's outside counsel for the town. There's all kinds of stuff going on here, and again, I'm concerned about the costs here.
Yeah, he's going to tell a joke to the town supervisor over the phone, and it's going to cost us $100.
Will it be a casket joke? I mean, that's
I don't know. Wow. So, no casket jokes, but we did have some really interesting and exciting entertainment this past week at the Avenue. A local band called Sniff the Cork with some really great seasoned musicians, along with Susan Court, which was a group of younger musicians, really rocked it out. And they did it all for United Hatzalah for a great charity. And I heard they raised a lot of money. And boy, people had a great time.
Yeah, they raised thousands of dollars. The place was packed. People were really having a great time. The bar did well.
Did they have your drinks? Because you were concerned last time.
I was sweating out the fact that they didn't have a single malt scotch. They had several.
All right, yeah.
The place is coming up. It's an up-and-coming place to be. If you're around weekends and you have nothing to do, the Avenue, check it out.
You know what? The Avenue really is a lot of fun. It's a great place to go and a great hangout. We're really fortunate to have it in West Hempstead. And speaking of things in West Hempstead, we got National Liquidators, which the grounds are really coming down pretty quickly, right?
One whole wall is missing on the east end side of the property. They're digging up the interior of the property, putting in dry wells for drainage, I guess, for parking lots. So yeah, a lot of movement there.
Yeah, and they got, the sidewalks are all blocked off, and they really seem to be,
It's progress.
really into it right now. I guess you get to that point where a lot of stuff doesn't happen, and then all of a sudden, boom, it just starts.
Right. Oh, once the building's down, we'll start to see some real progress.
Hey, Norman, just one last thing before we go.
Yeah, one last thing. JB was honored. JB's been doing stories with us. He's a gem of a guy. He's doing things for the community. He and his wife together, they were honored at the Anshe annual dinner. It was held at the Woodmere Club, and everybody had a great time, and it was really a pleasure to honor this guy.
It was great. It was great to see his family, and it was a huge turnout, and we appreciate everything that Anshe does for us, and we appreciate, for sure, everything that JB does for us. So I think that's going to be a wrap for This Week in West Hempstead.
We should congratulate the other winners as well. Thank you all very much for everything you do as well.
That is true. A congregation does not run without lots of help. So I want to thank you, Norm. I want to thank you, Dan, and we'll join you next week on This Week in West Hempstead.
Enjoy the weather.
Thanks for watching, everybody. If you would like to sponsor our program, much like Spiegel Law PC, Tiffany Dry Cleaners, and I&D Glot Market, please reach out to us at sales@westhempsteadecho.com.
Welcome to I&D Glot. We love our customers. We have the freshest produce. We have all the groceries you need. We have the best cuts of beef, veal, lamb, chicken for the best price. And of course, a bakery department with all fresh cookies, cakes, and freshest bakery item. And of course, with a takeout department with delicious food. If you need to place an order, do it online. We'll deliver it to you, or come into the store and shop. We can't wait to see you.